Hello, and welcome back to the Iraqi Dinar channel, your #1 stop for real intel, honest updates, and the latest community news that actually matters. Today's story is one you're going to want to sit down for because what we're about to talk about might just be the biggest game changer of the year. If you've been feeling uneasy, confused, or skeptical about where this investment is headed, this is the moment you've been waiting for. The headline says it all. FRANK26 just dropped an absolute bombshell. Your 50K Dinar notes will be honored at the new rate. Let that sink in for a second. Now, we're not talking about rumors or recycled news here. This came straight from the man himself, FRANK26. He's known for being one of the most connected voices in the community, and when he speaks, everyone listens. This isn't just another hype update. This is confirmation, reassurance, and a complete shift in how we see what's coming. He's just taken one of the biggest fears that's been circulating for years and crushed it with real intel and boots-on-the-ground evidence. Frank made it crystal clear. This is not a maybe someday situation. This is happening, and the way he explained it, it's not only logical, it's powerful. For a long time, the dinar community has lived under a cloud of uncertainty, especially around one scary word, LOP. You've heard it again and again from critics who use it like a weapon to spread fear and doubt. But Frank just turned that entire narrative upside down. He called it the kryptonite conversation, and now he's taken that kryptonite and made it completely powerless. So what exactly is this LOP issue all about? For years, people have claimed that Iraq would delete zeros from its currency, meaning your 50K note would suddenly become a 50 note with no change in value, instantly wiping out your investment. That idea has caused panic, sleepless nights, and endless debates. But according to Frank and his trusted source Omar, who's actually on the ground in Iraq, that's not what's happening at all. What's really taking place is a redenomination that adds strength, not weakness, to the currency. Omar's report from inside Iraq confirms that new lower denomination notes are being prepared. And that one detail changes everything. Because think about it. Why would a country introduce smaller notes if their currency wasn't gaining value? You don't need a 1 or 5 dinar note if your currency is worth fractions of a cent. You only need smaller bills when your currency actually holds power, when it's strong enough to make those denominations useful in daily life. That's exactly what this move signals. Strength, stability, and value. This is not about deleting zeros, it's about adding structure. Iraq isn't erasing its money. It's upgrading its entire system. And according to Frank, during this transition, your existing larger notes, like the 5K, 25K, and yes, even the 50K, will still be honored. That means the notes you hold now will maintain their value through this process. They won't suddenly become worthless or invalid. Instead, they'll be part of a managed phase-in where new lower notes gradually replace them after the rate change takes effect. That right there is the confirmation everyone's been hoping for. It shows that the Central Bank of Iraq isn't rushing or panicking. They have a plan, and they're executing it in a way that protects both citizens and investors. This isn't destruction, it's construction. They're building a new, stronger financial foundation, one that's fully backed by Iraq's resources, oil reserves, and gold holdings. Frank's report makes it clear that this plan is already in motion. It's not just talk, it's happening. And Omar's confirmation gives it even more weight. He's not sitting in a studio guessing. He's on the streets, talking to people, hearing what's really unfolding. This is the kind of collaboration between intel and first-hand observation that gives the community real confidence. Now let's talk about what this means for you, the holder. If you're holding 50K notes, the fear has always been that they'd be voided or devalued. But that fear is now officially over. According to this new intel, those notes will be honored at their full face value, calculated at the new, higher exchange rate once it's announced. That means your patience and belief weren't in vain. It means the CBI plans to recognize and respect what investors have held through all these years of uncertainty. This is not just good news, it's validation. It proves that the central bank is acting responsibly and transparently. They aren't going to abandon the people who believed in their recovery. They're rewarding that belief, and that, my friends, is a signal of integrity and stability. Two things that are essential for Iraq's return to the international stage. When Frank talks about this being the ride, he's absolutely right. Because this isn't the end of the story. It's the beginning of something new. We're witnessing the final steps of a long, carefully planned process that's leading toward a complete financial transformation. This includes the introduction of new asset-backed currency and, eventually, the full activation of Article 8 under the IMF, which would make the dinar an internationally recognized, tradable currency. For years, the critics said Iraq would never make it this far. They said the CBI would have to erase everything and start over. But this proves otherwise. Iraq doesn't need to destroy value. They're increasing it. They're not erasing history. They're honoring it. The large notes will be exchanged, the new notes will circulate, and the value will rise to reflect Iraq's true economic strength. So take a breath. Let that fear fade away. Your 50K notes are not a mistake. They're part of the plan. The introduction of new lower denominations doesn't erase your investment. It confirms it. It proves that Iraq is moving toward a stronger currency, and that transition requires honoring what came before. This is the moment the community has been waiting for. It's the answer to years of uncertainty. FRANK26's intel and Omar's first-hand reports have finally aligned to show a clear, logical path forward. The central bank isn't deleting zeros. It's redefining value. The kryptonite conversation that used to weaken everyone's confidence is now the very proof of progress, and that's why today feels different. This isn't rumor. This isn't hopium. This is structured, verified intel from two credible sources that have been proven right time and time again. It's the light at the end of the tunnel, and it's getting brighter by the day. So what happens next? According to everything we're seeing, Iraq is entering the final stages of its currency reform. The introduction of new notes, the confirmation of value retention for large denominations, and the clear signals from financial leaders all point toward a historic shift. The bottom line is this: your 50K notes are safe. They will be honored. They will be valued at the new rate. And that means every single person who's held on through the doubt and the noise is about to see why it was worth it. This is more than just a financial update. It's a message of hope, stability, and validation. Iraq is stepping into its future, and it's doing so with strength and integrity. And you, the holder, are part of that journey. So buckle up, just as Frank said, because this ride is about to get very exciting. The fear is gone, the confusion is clearing, and the facts are finally taking center stage. Thank you for tuning in to the Iraqi Dinar channel. This is what we live for: clear, confirmed, and uplifting news that cuts through the noise. Make sure to hit that like button. Share this with anyone who's been worried or uncertain, and don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell so you never miss an update. The ride has officially begun, and we're on it together. See you in the next update.